All right, guys. So now that you had a chance to take a look at some of the basics of the interface and layout of Illustrator, let's go ahead and create a quick practice problem here together. Create our first document using Illustrator. So if you don't have it opened already, let's go ahead and open up Illustrator. And to find Illustrator, just click on your Finder. All right, go to Applications, then look for Adobe Illustrator, and then just open it up right here. Okay, now I've already opened mine up here. Might take a minute or two the first time you load it up, but just give it a chance. And when it finally loads, you should see a view like this with the kind of the frame of Illustrator around your desktop. Okay, so to get going here, we're going to go ahead and create a new document. So let's go to File, let's go to New. And then we'll be given our kind of our new document screen. So here's where we can set up some of our settings and when we want this to be titled. So we're going to go ahead and let's just call this one Practice. Okay, keep it simple here. We'll go ahead and call that one Practice here. And then we want to change a few other things here. So we've got some different kind of profile options. So print web. So basically these are just if you kind of know what you might be working it for, you could change that. Let's go ahead and leave it at custom for now. Artboards we're going to leave at 1. We'll talk about what that means a little later, but keep that at 1 for now. Then inches, we want to make sure our units is in inches for me right now. Okay. And then under the size, we want to make sure this is letter. Okay. So when you put that down again, this is some different options here. So for right now, let's keep that to letter if you could. Okay. So everything else we're going to leave as is, and let's go ahead and click on OK. All right, so now we've got just kind of a basic sheet of paper to work with, so we'll start simple there. So obviously if you wanted this to be different, you could change your settings back in that setup page. So if you wanted this to be more of a rectangle, again, you could choose different options to fix that, but for right now, this will work perfectly with what we're looking to do. All right, so with shapes, all right, so all our kind of our options is, you guys saw in your video, we've got this toolbar over here on the left. Okay, so we've got inside here our rectangle tool. All right, so any of these icons that has a little triangle in the corner means they've got kind of a flyout menu of different options. Okay, so right now we've got our rectangle tool selected. So in its simplest form, if I were just to click and start dragging out, as you can see, I'm drawing a rectangle at the moment. Okay, so pretty basic. All right, you'll notice it fills blank. It's kind of a white blank there. All right, so let's go ahead and click on the selection tool up top here, and then just click off that. So you can see your rectangle. So it's got a white fill with a black outline. Again, that's being controlled right down here. All right, so again on the top, we've got a white fill. So if you wanted to change that, you could double click on that and open it up and change your fill to red. So now when I draw a rectangle, okay, it's going to fill with red. All right, because again, this is red here. All right, the fill color, again, if you wanted that to be different, again, so if I wanted that to be a blue, okay, I could do that. Oh, I didn't get that to change over. Let me pick blue. There we go. All right, so now, there we go. So now when I go ahead and draw with my rectangle, it's now, and then let's click off so you can see that. You can see it's kind of hard to see because it's small, but it's got a blue border, but it's got that red fill. Okay, so either way, that's that easy to draw your shapes out. Up top here, just some of the more of the options that we have to work with. So again, we've got our fill up here, so you could change it in our stroke color. We've also got the stroke weight. All right, so if you wanted that to be a little, thicker on the stroke, you could do that. So when I draw a rectangle now, again, you can see when I jack that up to 9, you can see the border's a little thicker. Okay, so that's just by changing that. So those are just some of the basic, rectangle things you can do there. Okay, so now let's do this here. I'm going to go ahead and just give myself some empty space here. So I'm going to delete some of these out of here. Okay, so we're back to a blank sheet here. All right, so now within that rectangle, all right, as we showed you, we got these other options here. So we've got an ellipse tool. All right, so also kind of known as the circle tool as well. So with that, okay, so again, I know I've turned it on because I've got kind of, as you look at the mouse, it's not an arrow anymore. It's kind of like the crosshairs or like a plus sign, if you want to call it that way. All right, so you can draw a circle a couple ways. So again, I can click and drag and do that. Okay, that's one way you could do it. Or if you want to kind of have a more scaled one, if you hold down the Alt button on your keyboard, which is on the bottom row there, hold down Alt, and then you can see the mouse changes. So when I press Alt, you can see kind of the mouse cursor changes. This gives you the ability to draw out from the middle of the circle, kind of from the center outward. So when I hold Alt and drag, notice how it's giving me a nice scaled, really smooth looking circle there. So when I let go, it's nice, it's scaled out from the center of the screen there. Okay, so again, if you ever wanted to come in and change the color of that, you just come to your menu option up top here. You can change all these different features about your circle. all right, to whatever you might be looking to do. Okay, so again, I encourage you to play around with those options. Okay, but now I got a nice vector shape going here. Okay, so a nice circle with a nice stroke weight on it. All right, so we're moving along here. Okay, now again, we've got one shape. You can definitely combine shapes and put them on top of each other. So let's do that here. So let's go back to our shape area, the rectangle tool. Let's choose the star tool. Okay, so stars, again, I can draw it out up top here, and you'll notice when you draw the star, it's automatically drawing out from the center of the star. So it's kind of expanding as you draw it out there. Okay, so let's go ahead and do this. I'm going to put the star right in the middle of this rectangle. Kind of make a nice looking logo right here. All right, I'm going to change the fill color because I don't want it to be the same. All right, and then we'll keep the stroke weight the same color. Okay, so I drew that star out there, and again, Illustrator kind of does you just have to kind of, expand it out, and then Illustrator does the rest for you. Another nice thing you can do with stars, so if I want to get rid of that one, all right, again, I just click on a shape and hit the delete button. When I'm drawing out with my star, so as I'm dragging out, holding the mouse button down, when I start pressing the up arrow on my keyboard, I can start adding multiple points to my star. And then hitting the down arrow does the opposite effect. It takes it away. Okay, so again, the key thing is you have to keep holding your mouse button when you do that, because if you let go, it's not, it will not work for you. Okay, but once again, once that shape is drawn, you can control kind of the appearance of the fill and the stroke up here, stroke weight, and then also if you wanted to change any of the features here, they've got the different line things that you could work around with here. Then basically this is what you can see the stroke down here is changing to the different options I'm playing around with up here. All right, so again, as always, I encourage you when we're doing these lessons, play around with things, experiment, kind of to see what you can find out there. It's one of the best ways to learn this stuff. Okay, so then last but not least, okay, I'll just give you one more thing. If I wanted to maybe put some shapes behind this. So let's say I wanted to have 3 rectangles behind this here. So I'm going to go ahead and draw. I got my rectangle tool selected. I'm just going to go ahead and click and drag and draw a narrow rectangle here. All right, I'm going to do that once more, right there, and then I'm going to do it a 3rd time. Okay, so now again, we might be thinking, what the heck are we doing? We just covered up our main part of our logo here. Okay, so a few ways we could fix this. We just have to change the order and arrange things here. Okay, so let's get our selection tool first selected. Again, you want to come in and change the fill color, you can do that. Up to you if you'd like to do that stuff. All right, now if you want to do multiple things here, okay, again, just play around with that. Again, like it's kind of up to your experimenting here. I'm just going to change these to different colors just so they stand out a little more. And then we'll change this one to, oops, sorry, I have to click on that one. There we go. Let's change this one back to that blue I just used. Beautiful. Okay, so pretty simple. All right, so I want to send this to the back. So if I right click on the shape here, I can go down to Arrange, Send to Back. All right, and there it goes. Okay, so now I click on this shape, right click, Arrange, Send to Back. Right click, Arrange, and I'm going to send that to the back. All right, so again, just a simple way of creating a basic drawing here. So what we did here is we created using our shapes inside the rectangle tool. So you hold on that to get our flyout menu. Again, so we worked with the rectangle tool, the ellipse, and the star. All right, so again, you can play around with the polygon tool, the rounded rectangle as well. And then we just clicked and we dragged. All right, so we just dragged out the shapes we wanted to. We changed the fill color and the stroke color up top here. We played around with the stroke weight, which is basically how thick that the border is going to be. All right. If you don't want a border, okay, if you come down here, you can just click on the box here that has a red line through it. That'll give it will give no stroke on it. But again, if you want one, just click and turn that thing back on. Okay. You can also switch the order down here as well. Okay, so when I click this arrow, it's just swapping the colors back and forth. All right, pretty cool. All right, so that again, so it's just a matter of, again, we can start with a basic drawing here. So now that you've got this, play around some more. See what other shapes you can draw out there. Try and maybe visualize something in your head and see if you can draw it using these basic shape tools. But the next thing we're going to do in class is you're going to make something on your own from scratch. So we're going to use these techniques here. So that way, if you have any questions on this stuff, definitely please make sure you're asking. All right, but good job. We got through our first practice together on Illustrator. So we're going to go ahead and stop this video now, and then we'll come back.